Good day, sir. I'm Kwei Yoje. My BG number is BG181102885. In this video, I'll be giving my review of this research journal, New Challenges in Brand Management, written in 2018 by Cleopatra Veloso and Elena Delgado Ballester. The purpose of this research journal is actually to have a better understanding of key brand-related terms and discuss the key challenges as well as the trend in brand management. In this part, I'll be explaining the findings of this research journal, which include the key brand-related definitions. Now, first of all, when we talk about brands, the general perspective about brand, is just merely a name, a symbol, or a logo that represents the offerings offered by one's company, which include the products or services. But this is far from the reality of what the brand truly means and what the brand truly represents these days. Brands are so important that brand is considered to be one of the competitive advantage for a company to differentiate itself from competitors. Therefore, in this research journal, brand is defined as an evolving mental collection of actual, offer-related, and emotional human-like characteristics and associations which convey benefits of an offer identified through a symbol or a collection of symbols and differentiates this offer from the rest of the marketplace. Second of all is the brand identity. Now, brand identity actually represents the perspective or the perception and understanding of the internal managerial teams and other stakeholders that support the brand development share. And therefore, brand identity is defined as the symbols and the set of brand associations that represent the core character of the brand that the team supporting the brand aspire to create or maintain as identifiers of the brand to other people. Now, the next one is brand image. Now, brand image and brand reputation are related to the perspective and the understanding that the audience and the external stakeholders form about the brand. So, brand image is defined as the perception formed to the mind of a member of the external audience about the brand after one real or mental encounter with the brand. And brand reputation derives from the accumulation of brand images and is approached here as an aggregate and compressed set of public judgments about the brand. Is the brand-related matters that remain unchanged. Now, these can be seen in the two perspective, which in the context of the companies and which in the context of the consumers. While in the perspective of the companies, companies they want to create strong brands that would gain the support from various groups of stakeholders such as employees and consumers. The main purpose of this is to create loyalty, trust, and commitment, which eventually will create return customers and repeat purchases that would be beneficial for the company's business in the long run. And companies also see brand as a protected property in terms of the features of its symbol, brand identity that supports internal decision making. However, in the context of the consumers they tend to prefer the brands that can satisfy their various needs, which include their functional, emotional, personal, and their social needs. And they also prefer the brands that they can relate with, develop and express their feelings and relationship with the brands. And the next part of the finding is brand-related matters that have changed over time. Now, these days, brands are not just represented by the offerings of the company, which include the products or services, but also represented by humans as well in the forms of politicians, celebrities, artists, athletes, manager, CEO, and bloggers, and also simple individuals as well see themselves as a brand and also perceived by others as brands. You know, and also that consumers have changed from passive observers to become active contributors in to the development of the brand, both when new offers are introduced and when existing offers are adjusted. Yeah. And so the experiences, which include the hedonic and functional brand experience, also have become the key element in understanding the way that consumers understand, assess, and react to brand, which in turn makes the brand engagement become more important than ever. And you know, because these days when consumers are thinking the brands that they are interested in, they are not just thinking about the offerings offered by the company, which include the products or services, but also the total experience. So in other words, that when consumers evaluate one's brand, the quality of one's company brand is more than the total experience of the brands of the offerings that offered by the company. So in other words, it also can say that the emotional engagement is really, really important these days between the brands and the consumers. Yeah. Part is the challenges for the brand management from the company perspective. Now, brand management teams and their internal leaders are no longer the only parties that define and control brand meaning, but one actor among many. As I already mentioned from the previous findings, that consumers are also considered as one of the parties that contribute the development of the brand. So therefore, it also one of the parties that define and control the brand meaning. And the other challenge is that it is necessary that the brands meet the needs of wide variety of stakeholders. Yeah. On the other hand, is that the brand support team from the company sides needs to cope with the ongoing changes in the global environment that is expanding faster than ever. And other than that is that companies, they need to secure the brands in a clear and relevant positioning. They need to create the images that different groups of consumers can relate with. If not, those brands are expected to die and fade. Which I also already mentioned that different groups of stakeholders and also which include the different groups of consumers, they perceived one brand with very different perspective. And therefore, the companies need to, create the different images that can be perceived by different stakeholders and by different groups of consumers that they feel that they can relate with, that feel that they can fulfill their social needs and personal needs. Yeah, which is in the form of like some sort of emotional engagement between the brands and the consumers. Because if not, then the brands are expected to fade and die. Next part of the findings is the direction for research in brand management. The further research should not neglect issues related to relatively stable constituents and conditions and try to assess how they are influenced from the changes in other factors. And an area that has received relatively limited attention in the past few years and is needed relates to the internal practices for keeping the coordination of the brand development. And also, one of the areas that need attention is the further exploration of the possibilities that brands are losing altogether their function and that the majority of the brands might disappear. So, in conclusion, and I can say that now I have a better understanding of the key brand related terms, which is the definition of the brand, brand identity, and brand image, and the key challenges and trend in brand management, which include the brand related matter that have changed over time and the brand related matter that remain unchanged from the past few decades until now. And in addition to that is that this research is actually provides valid evidence, as all the issues that I mentioned in the research journal has its reference. And the last part is that I believe that this research journal is able to help brand managers to have a better understanding about the challenges that brand managers will face in the future, or the challenges that they are facing right now regarding to brand related matters. That's all from me today. Thank you.